Welcome to the Real Agents of Change podcast, where we have a really big treat today. It is so rare anymore that we get together face to face. And you've got the Real Agent of Change here with my fellow Real Agent of Change, Hector, who has a fabulous nonprofit, a beautiful story and mission. And I'm going to hand it over to Hector. Hector, tell us about you and your nonprofit.
Sure. Well, first of all, we have a non-for-profit. That's myself and my partner, Willis Washington from Oklahoma. I'm based out of here in Central Florida. And the nonprofit is called the Legacy Impact Foundation Team. And we call it LIFT, all right? Because we're all about lifting people up, especially those with disabilities. So what we focus on, Cami, is all about accessible and affordable housing. We have some amazing courses coming out now. Right now, me and Willis created one called Thriving Through the Transition. And what we're doing with that is we're helping other guys, women with spinal cord injuries, especially those who are newly injured, all right, try to educate them and try to help them with reclaiming their value and their worth.
Now, I've seen a lot of press that you've been a part of. You've been interviewed and featured a lot. Tell us, how'd you get where you are today? What brings us to this moment?
Well, my own drinking and driving when I was 17 years old. So we're talking about 41 years ago when I was drinking and driving. I was a senior in high school. I was a captain of the gymnastics team, and I was just invulnerable. You know, I just thought that I could do anything that I wanted. And so I went out, I drank, I drove that night, and I ended up hitting two cars and a brick wall, which left me paralyzed from the chest down. September 17th, 1982.
What a powerful story. I myself am in recovery. So it's interesting how our lives really intertwine and overlap so much. Thank you for sharing that. So what makes you a real agent of change? Ain't necessarily because of our group, but just in general, you are an agent of change. You are go, 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 get it done, get it done. Tell us about that.
You know what? Being a real agent of change now is so different than all that other stuff that I've done before. And let me tell you why, because I had no idea what I was doing back then. Today, I really feel like this is a purpose, this is a direct mission that I am on because I really want to be able to help as many people as I possibly can to achieve the things that I have achieved. And that's why I love your program. That's why I love being a real agent of change, because how better else to fund our non-for-profit by gifting real estate? You know, it's just it just doesn't, I don't want to say it does away with those 5K runs and those bake sales and stuff like that, man, but it's such a big needed support and hit that we really need. And this makes it possible to be able to do that for someone to be able to donate real estate. And then that donation goes and gets liquidated and then goes to a not-for-profit. Wow.
Well, and for our viewers, just to be clear, 5Ks, golf tournaments, bake sales, barbecues, and ballroom functions. We get it. We want to do those things to be friendly and to be human and shake hands and interact. However, what if you could six times the amount of money that you're bringing in to help that many more people? And that is what gifts of real estate can do for your nonprofit and all 1.5 million nonprofits in the country. And one of the things I love about Hector and Willis is that they are so collaborative. They are not like, what's in it for me, which of course they need what they need, but they want to help everyone. So the average donation from one gift of real estate is $600,000. What would your nonprofit do with that kind of influx of funds?
We would finally get to really show people what the word inclusive really means, because we would build communities. I mean, we're talking about, people with disabilities have trouble finding accessible housing. They have trouble finding accessible vehicles. They have trouble finding those resources. They have trouble finding jobs, so forth like that. So we're all about building inclusive communities. And so that 600,000, just one donation would get us already started and up.
Well, already 9 billion with a B is donated to nonprofits this way. So for those of you who are saying, does this really happen? Do people really donate real estate? Is that really a thing? Not only is it a thing, but when you join forces with Agent of Chaos, as I've been thinking of myself lately, Agents of Chaos and Change, experts say that the 9 billion will move to $29 billion a year because cash is only 3% of what we have access to. Our wealth is only 3% cash. 43% of our wealth is in real estate. So if you want to see inclusion and communities thrive with disabilities, don't diss my ability.
There you go.
What would you like our viewers to know? Where would you like them to go learn more about you? Just speak your mind.
You know, it's really about, I've been working really hard to really change the perspective of people with disabilities. You know, we're not just sitting around waiting for handouts and help and so forth like that. I really want to get away from that image of what Jerry Lewis telethons used to be all about and so forth like that, man, because people with disabilities are just like anybody else in regards to having a life. You know, we get married, we get jobs and stuff like that. Is it a struggle? Absolutely. You know, is that accessible? I mean, grateful for the Americans with Disability Act, but we're not finished yet in regards to making it totally accessible. And we're not just looking for accessibility for us. We're talking about accessibility for families with disabilities, because the person, the individual with disability is not the only one being affected. It's a family, it's a community that's being affected by the lack of resources and by the lack of accessibility throughout our community, especially in the United States. Doesn't have to be.
See, that's the kind of mindset I'm talking about. I mean, you know, we could be helping people to get service animals and jobs and just so many of the things that are just not top of mind right now. But man, do we talk about it a lot. And the people that I'm introducing to Hector and that he's introducing to me, it's that communicate, conversate, collaborate to create resources and relationships and revenue for everyone. So you can learn about donating real estate. The Real Agents of Change have created what we call the second button, donate real estate button. And the one for Hector's nonprofit is therock.com/lift. And you can see that in the show notes. We'll be putting some other contact information, phone numbers, etc. So any final words?
I'm just really excited to be working with you, Cammy. We've been waiting for this for a long time and stuff like that. And I think it's really going to make a difference in how non-for-profits are out there working. I mean, I've sat on a lot of boards of directors and so forth, like say for the Center for Independent Living Center or other organizations such as that. This is a game changer. It really is. So congratulations to you and the work that we're all doing. And I just want to gather more people to find more help and help us build an inclusive community.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and seeing me today. Okay, friends, there you have it. Another episode of the Real Agents of Change. If you think you're a real agent of change, whether you are a nonprofit, a philanthropic individual, a business who supports and serves nonprofits, if you're a donor or a realtor or a financial advisor or just a good old-fashioned visionary, reach out to one of us, because we are more than happy to bring you into the tribe, and you too can be an agent of change. Bye-bye.